What's going on, everybody? I'm Zero to Chaos.
And I am Melting Data.
Welcome back to Culture Clash. Hopefully, everyone out there is doing good. This is the podcast that you know you love listening to because we got all the good topics and all the good conversation, y'all. And if you have not heard through the grapevine, we are now officially on YouTube Music, right?
Yes, we are on YouTube Music and YouTube proper.
Bam!
So if you want to hop on YouTube, if we want to be your second screen entertainment while you're playing a game, go ahead and throw us on the second monitor and listen to an episode.
Check us out, and don't forget to subscribe too while you're over there. We're trying to hit that 50 subscriber goal. All right, I think we're at like 5 people subscribed to the channel right now. Show us some love like y'all been showing us.
It was 7 last I checked. So
7. Okay, so that's what I'm saying.
Couple extra people.
You know, so just let people know all of our shorts, all of the smaller cut versions of the podcast will now be on that channel. So don't worry. Don't think like, oh, I've been going to the FSP YouTube channel to watch all the shorts and stuff. They still exist. It's just going to be over there now. And I just want to give Data a round of applause, man, because you have been fighting with YouTube, bro, to get that thing up, man.
It took me a while to figure out how to get it done, but now that I figured it out, it'll be there for good now.
Heck yeah. So before we go into this awesome episode, because a lot has went down just this week alone. Summer Game Fest happened this week. My birthday happened last week. I'm getting old. Summer Game Fest, getting old. There's some companies out there that are getting old, let me tell you. But before we start all the mess for this episode, Data, how have you been, man?
Man, I've been doing pretty good. In the last couple of days, I got some amazing news. We'll talk about that news here in a little bit. But I couldn't help but smile from ear to ear and celebrate the best way I know how, which is replaying Resident Evil 4. So,
hey, if you know just off him saying that, you know, I'm just saying, because like I said before, due to my birthday, due to work and other related things in my life, I completely dropped the ball on Summer Game Fest. So I'm gonna go ahead and just have to put my hands on that one. All right. Thankfully, I listened to other podcasts, so I got the overview of what went down at Summer Game Fest. I've heard people say that it was crazy long and lackluster. To summer is now becoming like the peak of games. That, you know, gaming is dead, gaming is back. You know how it is. It is never the same thing. It's always one or the other. But before we jump into those trailers, I have to give this game and this company their flowers. Clair Obscur Expedition 33. I know Data has to be tired of me talking about this game.
oh, not at all.
Bro, when I tell you this game is holding me together. Like, people have been saying this could be game of the year. And I 100% agree with them. This is exactly this could arguably be put into my top 10 favorite games of all time. I think by the time I finish this game, it will be in my top 10. That's how solid this game is. I think really with this game, I don't want to spend the whole podcast talking about this game, but like the fact that I heard that this Clair Obscur, a French-based company of like 30 developers who created this game. Of course it has its issues, but it's nothing that breaks the game, and it's nothing that I feel like takes you out of the immersion of the game. The story, amazing. Soundtrack, amazing. Character development, amazing. and it's turn-based, which I have. Turn-based RPGs is my favorite form of gaming. Period. Like,
That's fair. That's valid.
and to see that they have taken this model that people I have talked to say that turn-based RPGs and turn-based games are stale, they're not innovative, there's nothing you can really do with them, and now I can go, have you played this game? Because the way that they take the way they take turn-based RPGs to the next level, like, I can arguably say that, like, after playing this game, it may be hard to go back to a generic turn-based game. I'm heated right now in a good way. Let's put it that way.
I still got to get my hands on this because I have been busy with other stuff lately, and I haven't picked it up.
Man.
And that's on me. Like, technically, the time has been there. I've just been spending it on other places.
Oh no, man! But that's okay though, because it's free on Game Pass. Surprise to everybody out there that listens. This game is free on Game Pass. You don't even have to pay for it off rip. You should pay for it if you don't have Game Pass, because this game is totally worth the money, and it's not $80 out rip. You know, this company literally is telling people, like, hey, we can make pretty much a AAA title game with over half of, like, the workforce that these other big companies have. You know,
Yeah.
I heard that this game cost maybe the same amount that, like, Mirror's Edge back in the day cost. So, like, the price point for this game was so low for them to make. Note that's still, like, I think 20 million. That's still a lot of money. But 20 million versus, like, these games now that are costing almost, what, like 500 million plus to make?
Yeah.
Come on.
And that's mostly because you're having these developers that are throwing, like, 100 people at it for, like, 10 years. And it balloons the costs insanely.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, I love this, too, because, like, if you are a creator or an independent of anything, entrepreneur of anything, I feel like this game can resonate with you so much. With it being a company of, I think it was like Ubisoft, ex-Ubisoft employees, developers who were just like, we want to make a game that we would play. And in return, we got this. And this is literally like their love child of, like, this is what we've been wanting to do here, but they won't let us do it. So we'll just do it ourselves. And I know that not every company has, like, that blessing to do that. But to see that this game is literally in talks for Game of the Year, and this is their first game, this company is showing us, like, this is the potential that we have going forward. If we choose to support this company.
And we should. To be fair, we should.
By far. And don't get me wrong. I love my big title companies. I do. One of them is on the chopping block right now. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But seeing how these game companies are treating their employees, how they're treating us, and how these releases have been very poor for a lot of things out there. A lot of these games, a lot of these releases have been poor. And we continue to support them. But we have this small company that literally has put all this effort and work into this game. And I'm telling you, like, it's hard. When I start playing this game, it is hard for me to put this game down. That's how good this game is. If I didn't have to work every day, pretty much, I know for a fact I would be in my office grinding this game for hours. Nonstop.
That's fair.
Now, we have a lot more to cover. I really just wanted to give them their flowers and their props. I do believe this game will be Game of the Year this year. That is biased, because I haven't really played much of the newer games that came out this year. So,
That's fair.
This is like one of the first games I think I played that dropped this year, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm loving it. So, Claire Obscure, you get the nod from me, my man. Thank y'all for making this game. Turn-based RPGs are back, baby. Let's go.
As they should be. I was honestly sad when they left like the mainstream for a while.
Oh yes.
Because like I always felt like, especially as like phone gaming got bigger, I was always like, a touch screen is the perfect layout for just like a simple turn-based RPG. Like, why did they disappear right when we got the right material to play it with?
Yes, and I hate to be that person that's like, oh, it's the short attention spans of people, blah 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 blah. I hate being that person, but it's the short attention spans of people, and
fair.
And let's be honest, you know, I am not the guy going like, I don't play Call of Duty, I don't play the Fortnites and the Apex Legends. Like, I play those games, I enjoy those games too, but I also know that if I want to develop myself or challenge myself, I don't always have to go to a Souls-like game. There were RPGs, there were turn-based RPGs, and it seems like the culture has thrown all of those into JRPGs now. And
yeah,
that's not fair either. Because Atlas, the company Atlas, if you don't know who they are, look them up. Persona, awesome franchise. You know, they have been like my guilty pleasure for the turn bases when they bring their games out. But it's like, to see that this is a company that's like, this is not a JRPG. This is not that type of game. But them adding like the active dodge mechanics, them adding the parry system like they do in that game. Unheard of. You know, another game that did that, Paper Mario. How Paper Mario did like the jump attacks, and if you time the jump attacks, you get extra jumps. Things like that. Adding those extra, just those little extra pieces of the seasoning onto your game makes a difference. And I need other companies to realize that, because I feel like that's the reason why gaming right now looks stale for some people, because it's like we have Call of Duty, supposedly another one's coming out, and I swear, you know, you're making these bi-yearly releases of games, and you're not adding nothing really new to it. I love sports games. They're not changing enough. All because you update the roster does not qualify me having to pay another, $80 for a roster update. That's crazy. Just putting that out there. Now, what is not crazy is the game that Data told me is coming out. A game. I'm ready. I'm ready to see this, but I'm gonna hand off the Data first.
Hey, so y'all, I didn't even see this at an event. I saw this completely by accident. I finished everything I had to take care of for the day. I logged on to Steam. I looked up at the little news bar at the top, and I was like, "What's that?" That says Resident Evil, and it's new. So I clicked on it, and I was a kid at a candy shop. I was so dang happy when I watched that. Man, there's a point in the trailer. I'm not gonna spoil it for nobody that hasn't seen it. But there's a point in the trailer that had me make like a 6-year-old like excitement sound. I was so happy. I've been a Resident Evil fan since the second game. Like, I had Resident Evil 2 on the Nintendo 64, and from that time, it was done. It was over with. I was hooked.
Look, that's a franchise. That's a franchise I would gladly be hooked to. Because I'll be real, like, Resident Evil, man, especially when they hit those remakes, that resurgence on the remakes, bro.
They're doing their thing.
They're doing their thing. And before we jump into it, I want to give them their props too, because the way that they switched up the format was pretty good. And I give them that because some people don't mess with Resident Evil because of the shooting mechanics and how the pacing of those games go. And then when they flipped it and they did like the first person ones and stuff like that, I was like, I can respect the company that tries new things like that with their properties. And I haven't seen this trailer yet, so we're gonna watch this trailer. So the people who are listening, if you wanna see the trailer, it's Resident Evil 9 Requiem trailer coming out in 2026. Let's watch it real quick, and then we're gonna watch Data Fanboy on this bad boy. So before you start, I just want to go ahead and put that out there. He's the worst captain ever, bro. I know this is where your mom died 8 years ago. But it's about time you peel that Band-Aid off, all right? Get out there. What? I'm sorry. That threw me off, bro. That threw me off so bad. Clearly you haven't come to terms with your mama's death at this place. But you need to go. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Oh, man.
Honestly, fair. That is a fair criticism. Like, but I'm gonna be real with you, man. Like, at first I was like, okay, like, I'm excited. It's a new story. Like, obviously they're going back to like the diseases and stuff like that. Because for those who don't know, early Resident Evil, it was like different viruses that they were trying out, and then you had like the parasite in Resident Evil 4 and 5. So like that was already pretty cool. But that first shot where it zooms out and you see the crater in the middle of the city, I was like, we're going back to Raccoon City. I'm so excited. Because like the main story of Resident Evil, you have 1, 2, and 3 that take place. 1 is nearby, 2 and 3 are in Raccoon City. And then between 3 and 4, they fill you in that the story was the outbreak got so bad that they nuked it to contain the outbreak. And so now we're going back to Raccoon City years later after they nuked it. I'm so excited.
To see all the good, juicy stuff, bro.
Especially when they peeled back for a moment and they showed like some of the areas from Resident Evil 2 and 3. Yeah, like you see the destroyed police station and stuff like that, and I was like, "Yo, we're going back to Raccoon City, baby." I'm so happy.
Now I don't want no one to get on me. I was getting some Saw vibes, bro. Like her being locked up like that and stuff. I was like, "Oh, we about to get some weird puzzle, survive." Because I'm not gonna lie, I was looking at the missing people. Her desk, all the pictures on her desk. I was like, okay, who do I know in these pictures? Trying to pinpoint like where this is at. Because one thing with Resident Evil, especially if you pay attention, they hint. It's so easy to like get lost in the world space of Resident Evil because they do it so well. But it's like the little things they add to the game. It could be gone real quick and you don't see it. Cause I'm looking at this, and another thing too. Shout outs to them, man, the Capcom and them, because they have mastered the graphics, like the way that Resident Evil looks, how people walk, how they interact with each other. It only happens in Resident Evil like this.
They've done good.
Right? That's what I'm saying. I know a Resident Evil game just by looking at it because it has its own unique style and look. And damn,
well, especially like replaying through the Resident Evil 4 remake, like I've been doing recently. Like it's down to the little things, like when you whip Leon around too quickly, where he would like run into Ashley. Mm-hmm. They even put in like animations where he like nudges her out of the side for a second. Like it's the little stuff like that where like they have every kind of situation thought of how would these characters be interacting with each other. What would they be doing like if he turns around too quick and has to walk by the area she is, well, he's gonna like grab her shoulder and like push her off to the side for a second
instead.
like.
And the cool thing too that you bring that up, because it's like the two remakes that they brought out, I'm really curious to see. First off, three. Thank you, three. I'm really curious to see one once we get some actual gameplay of Requiem. Like, do you think they're going to make this a first-person experience, like first-person view, or a third-person experience?
I don't know, because the only first person experiences that we've had were from the viewpoint of Ethan Winters. That was the character through 7 and 8. Because in the DLC with his daughter, that was in third person still. So like the only character we've played first person through is Ethan Winters.
Okay.
So I don't know if they're gonna do first person on that. I don't know timeline wise when this takes place. I'm be honest with you. I thought Resident Evil 9 was gonna be Ethan's daughter's story, because the way they had left that off in the DLC was that like you finish the main game and it's like the father's story is finished. Then you play the DLC and they're like, now the daughter's story begins, and you go through. It's a pretty short little story. It's maybe a couple hours, but you go through a story with the daughter, and it explains how Chris has been like training her to work with the STARS unit and to use her as one of their special agents. And so like for years now, because I mean it's been a while since Resident Evil 8 came out, for years now I've thought, okay, Resident Evil 9, she's the main character. That's just kind of what I've assumed the whole time.
The progression.
But this is different. This is not her. So I don't know, maybe the daughter's going to be important later on in the story. Maybe that she's the next game. I don't know. But either way, I'm excited to go back to Raccoon City. That was enough right there.
You take us back to the OG layer areas, dog. You know what I'm saying? Because even like you said, like just the magnitude to know that they had to nuke that place, and clearly it didn't work. So it's like clearly you messed up somewhere. I'm just saying, you're thinking like we're gonna just nuke this place. You just added like nuclear residue to an outbreak. So good luck. Good luck. But I will say for Resident Evil, they don't have many misses in this franchise. So this for you, I know for you this is
there's only one miss that I know of, and most people consider it a hit, but I digress.
Which one?
6.
6? Okay.
I'm not a fan of 6.
Okay. Yeah. That, because that was the one that they did like the they kind of went away from the stop and shoot mechanics and everything, right? That's the one where they did like more action heavy.
It was more action heavy, but they tried to split it into like 4 storylines that all take place at the same time. And so they all just kind of feel like short and shallow. Like it doesn't feel like a full game.
Like the meat and
like,
potatoes.
I just wasn't a huge fan of it. Like,
I understand that.
5 before that was good. It was a full game. And then 7 after that was good. It was a full game. But 6, I just wasn't a huge fan of. I mean, I still like it. It's part of the series. It's fun. But it's not the same.
Always say in a franchise, there has to be one that comes in last place. It's like, doesn't mean that it's horrible, but it is saying it ain't reached that top for me as well. Again, we have time. This comes out in 2026. So,
yeah.
This is definitely a day one cop for you. I know that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. See what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Again, everybody that's listening to the pod, man, let us know what you think about Resident Evil. What is your favorite Resident Evil? Let us know. Because I would say arguably my favorite one. I like 4. I'm going to have to say 5. Only because I think I played that one an unhealthy amount.
That's a respectable answer.
Unhealthy. It has its problems, but I think 5 is what got me back into it. 4 was just good. 4 was solid. But 5 is what really kept me as a fan of Resident Evil. But man,
4 has been a bane on my wallet's existence since it came out. I bought it on the GameCube, the PlayStation 2 when that version came out. I got a 360, Resident Evil 4 again. It came to the PC, I got Resident Evil 4 again. It came to the Switch, got it again. It came to the Oculus, I got it again. They made the remake, I got it again. It has been a bane on my wallet's existence. I have a problem, I know it.
Can't even look at you, bro.
I'm aware.
Can't even look at you.
I know it's a problem.
I get mad at Skyrim people. I get mad at Skyrim players who bought that game 50,000 times. Here he goes to Resident Evil 4. 50,000 times.
I know it's a problem.
God.
I know it's a problem. I'm not even going to argue with it. I know it's a problem.
I can't get mad at you, though. I can't get mad.
It's a good game.
Can't get mad. But you know what else was a good game? That we both actually played?
What's that?
Grounded.
Heck
It's been
yeah.
a while. It's been a while
That
since
was
we played
a
it.
super good game.
Now,
That was a super good game.
little quick story before we continue. If you didn't know, me and Data had a show on Twitch. All right, and
Sir.
Building with Data and Chaos. And let me tell you, we went from Minecraft, Grounded, like any game that had building mechanics. I think we tried to play it on stream. It was amazing. But Grounded, I think, well, Minecraft kicked it off, but Grounded is what like solidified the show for a while. And
Yeah.
when I tell you, the experiences that we had together in that game, amazing. So when we heard that they announced a 2, Grounded 2, we had to put it on the pod. We had to. This game, I would say, arguably, this is one of the games that has shaped us in a good way as content creators. You know, because this game pushed us to a point where you said, well, let's make this an actual series that people can watch, that people can resonate with, and the game looked good. So I'm actually really excited to see where they're taking Grounded 2. What do you think?
I've already seen the trailer. I like it. It's the best way to like continue the story in my experience, or like my opinion. Because like the gameplay from what they've showed so far, it's grounded, but more of it.
Okay.
And that's just like, I think, the best way to do it.
Which is right. It's like, give us what we love, add a little extra to it. Grounded 2. So it's going to sit back. It's only 2 minutes, so we're going to check this one out as well. If you're listening to it, you know, take a break, maybe go watch it later. You know what I'm saying? But this is Grounded 2 announced trailer. Well, damn. So you said we're playing Grounded 2 next month, right?
Heck yeah.
So we have to play that next month. So y'all want a live podcast? We maybe have a live podcast. Just gonna put that out there, bruh. Yo, hold up. So we can now ride ants and build
Ants, spiders. Like,
what?
It looks
What? Looks good. The first off, you're telling me that they disappeared after an explosion. After we just knew they shrunk before. And nobody in this world space didn't think like maybe they shrunk again.
It's the same reporter that was like, formerly evil company, Ominous Systems.
It's like, what? I promise y'all, I'm not trying to be that person tonight. It's just my brain is like on like 10% right now. And I am like hyper focused on things. And it's just like, bruh. That's why like I'm looking at this and I'm just like, wow. The scope.
It looks so good.
Yes, the scope of it looks the scorpions, right here. Was that like a charge? You see when he charged up the weapon and how it had like the ring on it?
Yeah.
I'm like, are we doing like timed crit charges and stuff now in this game? Like, hold up now. Now you know what. Now you know what we need to do. You know what we need to do, Grounded. You know what we need to do, Xbox. Make it to where we can create our own person, and just make the first. I'm pretty sure it's not going to happen. Make the first 4 teenagers now actual characters like they are, and have us make our own character into the world space. Fire.
The 3.
That'll be 3. Fire. I'm gonna go ahead and call it. They're gonna announce a VR port for this. They have to announce a VR port for this one.
That would be cool.
This game in VR? Come on.
I ain't gonna lie to you. If they release that, I got my headset right over there.
They just say
it's
ready.
Happening.
They just said I'm ready. Cause when I tell you the scope that they had with the first one and the things that you could do, note I'm the guy who's like, well, I don't like spiders. I don't F with them. So I just made like a bridge above the forest and just made it to where I had to go. So while they're all out there like actually playing the game, I'm just like bridge. I'm like, hey, you want to get here? Bridge. So, but
I remember that when we had like the massive grass bridge all the way to the picnic table.
I was just like, I'm not fighting all these spiders, bro. I will take a day of a stream and just make this bridge, all right? Cool. But when I tell you the amount of things that we were able to do in this game, like, oh shoot, I forgot. This is where the Glizzy Warriors came from.
Yes, sir.
We're the Glizzy Warriors, bro. If you know, you know. Don't even look at us weird when you hear this. We're the Glizzy Warriors, bro. It came from this game.
That's right.
Yo, return.
You have to have seen it. That
you had to have been there.
The Glizzy Warriors will return.
It's facts now. Return of the Glizzy, bro. Like, it's over now, bro. Like, we have to play this game. Grounded. When I tell you, if you would have told me that a Honey I Shrunk the Kids game would have resonated on us so much, I would have been like, whatever. This game. We put in so much hours into the first game. We have to play this game. And the He-Man reference right there, hilarious. Hilarious. Oh, God.
I like how with the commercial when it's like, he can ride everything now. And that's like the main feature that it looks like they're trying to introduce.
In the game.
Is now you can ride the bugs.
I'm just sitting here, I was like, he's riding the ant and building at the same time. I don't know how hard that is to program, but that blew my mind, right? You sold me right there. Like, you sold me the second I saw that. Done. The weapons still look cool. Looks like you can dual wield now. I see she had 2 daggers in her hand. So that changes things. Look, you put a good RPG element in this game. You gonna end up in have yourself a fan. You gotta look, throw us a code, man. Send us a code. I know someone out there be watching our stuff. Send us a code for Grounded 2, please. We are both Game Pass members. But we would love to play this early. Comes out July 25th, it said? 25th? Or 27th?
Something like that, yeah.
Fam. Like.
But yeah, I'm super excited for that.
Stupid excited. Grounded 2, y'all. Return of the Glizzy. That's what it's going to be called. Return.
It's a special subtitle just for the viewers.
Just for y'all. And y'all heard it first on Culture Clash, bro. Now. I hate to have to kind of bum down the podcast for a second. We don't have to stay on here long because it's Summer's Game Fest. We here to celebrate games, not to like be just negative. But I did say earlier in the podcast that there was a company out there that I wanted to pick a bone with, and I think it's time. So EA, Electronic Arts, I need y'all to come to the table, bro. So recently, maybe not recently, because this was published in May of 2025, but it resurfaced again that EA pretty much is like, we don't mess with RPG players at all. Even going off to say that in an interview with Games Radar, Gator reveals that EA saw dedicated RPG fans as the nerds in the cave, who would always show up for an RPG because it was an RPG. Because of this, the former senior writer explained the studio felt no need to cater to the audience and instead focus on appealing to the people who weren't in the cave, a much larger group Electronic Arts actually wanted to reach. What?
Look,
What?
as a lifelong RPG player, that is a trash take, EA.
What?
Absolutely garbage take.
And then they have the nerve to say this. And you literally release a yearly sports RPG, bro. I was telling Data that earlier before we started. I'm like, how dare you say you don't like, what they say? The nerds in the cave. But you literally are supporting the nerds on the court and the nerds on the field. Oh, my bad. Because you've microtransactioned all of those games. VC'd all those games. Come on, man. That's messed up. RPGs, it pisses me off even more. RPGs is a staple of gaming. Staple, bro. Like, I ain't saying you have to love every type of RPG. But, like, I guarantee you if you sit down and you think about it, I think everybody may have some form of an RPG in their top list.
Easily.
And they don't even realize it.
RPGs have been one of the biggest genres in gaming pretty much since the beginning.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And you know, it's sad because because of things like this, they canceled the Black Panther game that was coming out. And what kills me with that, well, I won't say it kills me. Change my what hurts me with that is that do you remember the Shadow of Mordor series?
Yeah.
So supposedly they were making the Black Panther game with a mechanic that was like Shadow of Mordor. I think it was like the Nemesis system they had, I think it was called.
That would have been cool.
Bruh! And then they said they were going to make they're going to reamp it and like do something that was unique to that game. And they're going to go, oh, nobody wants a Black Panther game. I'm like, bruh, Black Panther, arguably, the first Black Panther movie, I think still is top 3 most grossed movie for Marvel in the top 3. People still want Black Panther, bro. People still want Wakanda Forever. That game would have sold like hotcakes. But my bad, it's an RPG. We can't microtransaction it, so we can't give it to you because we can't make extra money off of the sales. No one told you to do that. But you know, I'm just saying we ain't got to gripe on this too long. I just wanted to bring this up. Because, you know,
look, for the people listening, it's such a trash take. Just pay attention to all the rest of the games we don't talk about today.
Dang right. Tell them, bro. Tell them. This was such a trash take. We're going to move on. He's right. He's right, though. And again, first off, there is nothing wrong with you being an RPG nerd, a sports nerd. You could be a Fortnite junkie. I don't care. Respect the platforms, respect the platforms, respect the genres. If this is how these companies are looking at us, open your mind, y'all. Open your eyes, open your ears, and listen. Listen, because this is not the developers. These are those. This is not them. This is the your producers and your money makers, your corporate scum that is looking at us. They only look at us as dollar bills, and it's horrible. I get it. It's your business. You gotta make money. You gotta make your money. But when they are clearly sitting here on these interviews and telling us that, hey, we don't support you because you're weird. We wanna make Skate and have $15 t-shirts in it because that's what's gonna sell. The audience wants to spend $50 on battle passes after paying $80 for a video game and then having to pay for more things like Stop. We lost a potential banger game because of ignorance.
Yeah.
But
as an RPG player, over 2/3 of what I play is RPGs. As an RPG player, all that tells me, I ain't gotta waste no money on EA.
that's right. Facts.
I got better companies I can go to.
I don't
That's
even.
it.
You know what I'm saying? I don't even like your whole server. I don't like any of that crap. The EA launcher, all that mess, trash, bro. Trash. Xbox, wake up, kick them out, bro. Send them out to pasture. How about that? But no, I don't want nobody to lose their job. I'm just saying. I'm not promoting nobody losing their job. But EA need to get it together. Putting it out there. I don't want nobody saying, yo, they saying people gotta lose their job. No. But EA can do better. All right. But you know what is doing better? The outer
RPGs, because that's what we're going to talk about, baby.
So, you know, we about to go back in the cave. So I hope y'all ready to come with us. So back to the Summer Game Fest. This is clearly what you came for, right? If you haven't, so the Outer Worlds 2 was announced. I think we both played the first one.
Yes.
Right? So I enjoyed it. I had some gripes with it. Nothing too bad. I just didn't feel like it didn't have a strong replayability for me.
That's fair.
But the experience was amazing. The first run through it was amazing. It looked good. I loved the RPG mechanics in the game. So, seeing that a part 2 is coming out, I haven't seen the trailer. You've seen it?
Yes, and it is toward the end of the trailer, one of the funniest, like, they had a good, you'll just have to watch it.
All right.
I couldn't help but chuckle.
Data over here, man. All right. We had the Resident Evil, the jitters with Resident Evil, and now we have a chuckle on Outer Worlds. So let's go ahead and check this trailer out, people. You know, we always say, if you listening, that's good too, but go check it out after you finish listening, all right? So Outer Worlds 2, the official gameplay trailer. Yay, capitalism. That's literally. Yo, before I even sink my teeth into this, if there is a school out there, an actual school that's teaching about capitalism, they gotta play them this trailer. Her monologue, 100% perfect. What's capitalism in a nutshell? Listen to Auntie. Listen to Auntie, all right? Bruh, this game, I'm excited. This game looks like, if this is where the first one was, that's the second one's in space, literally. This looks, because the last one came out, do you remember how long it's been since the last one? Like,
been a long time. I want to say like 2017, 2018, something like that.
Around there, right? So like,
it's been quite a few years.
This game looks sharp. The mechanics, the actual like fighting mechanics, the shooting looks clean, smooth. And I'm gonna go ahead and say it, Obsidian, I see what you're doing. Shout out to Futurama. I know Auntie is, I know she is the grandma. Is grandma from Futurama. I know she is. She gonna have 3 sons. Auntie gonna have 3 little nephews and nieces or something. And watch. Heed my words. I got straight Futurama from that. And I got a little Borderlands too from it. If I'm not the only one. The companies, the different type of companies that looks like they're bringing in now, the versatility, the replayability that I felt the first game was lacking. This might make me eat my words, because the first game, that was my biggest problem with the first game. I felt like the first game, they didn't want to go too big, because maybe it wasn't ready yet for like the pure like open exploration. So I felt like the story was very streamlined, and that kind of hurt the game, because I was like, even if you try to be creative, yes, you can kill everyone, and even important people could die. Like, I thought that was cool. But the overall main story to me was done so quick. So by the time you really got into your character, it was kind of like, I don't want to keep playing this game after I finish the main story. This game,
Yeah, that's fair.
may change my mind. I ain't gonna lie to you. This game look good. What you think, man?
I'm super excited about it. The only thing I'm not excited about, I'm still gonna play it because it's coming to Game Pass, but it did announce with an $80 base game price tag, and the pre-order that comes with their like 2 story DLCs is $100. I did not like that. All I could think of when I heard that is I was like, why Nintendo? Why did you rip off that Band-Aid? This is what you did.
Yep. But they
like this is what that Band-Aid being ripped off looks like.
Yep. And kind of like you said before, like especially now with a lot of these companies being bought out and sucked into the formula of Microsoft and things like Sony, like they have no choice. If they say sell it for 80, they have to sell it for 80. And
yeah, that did come out that Obsidian's director, because a lot of people got upset at the price when they heard that. They were like, that's like, we don't need games to keep having those prices. And the director of Obsidian said, well, we didn't set that price. Xbox did, because Xbox owns our brand. We made the game, they made the price. If you have a problem with the price, that needs to be taken up with Xbox. I don't know how accurate that is. But that's what he's claiming. I don't know how accurate that is, but that's the claim.
And I think one thing with that situation that really hurts me is because it's a battle that we've already lost. I like how I heard it earlier on a podcast, and they made that point. They said, like, we're tired, like us, these gamers, like us, we're tired of saying, like, hey, stop supporting these bad practices. Hey, vote with your wallet. Hey. They're like, we've been fighting this uphill battle for years, and now it's too far gone at this point. And it's like, it sucks, but the levee's gonna have to literally break before we see anything change. But by the time it gets to that point, who knows how much games are gonna cost them. And I always say this, and I will say this always. It's okay to have your blockbuster AAA title, the big game that your company is known for, that brings in that money, your Call of Duties, etc., things like that. That's fine. But it's like, maybe, especially for Xbox, Microsoft, who's bought up a lot of these companies, maybe start giving these companies smaller projects to work on. A Hi-Fi Rush, which did good, and you got rid of that company. Crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could have just kept them to do games like Hi-Fi Rush. Easy $40 video games, 40 below games that will keep us, excited until your next big game comes out. To me, I could be wrong. Let me know. I feel like that's the problem that we have right now in gaming. There's no grace period. So it's like, back in the day, there was like your winter, your Christmas release. You had like your close to summer releases. And that's what made like E3. And so that's why Summer Game Fest, E3, that's why we love these, because this was the little sneak peek into the next batch of things we were waiting for. But now we don't even have the smaller game releases anymore. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh, we're waiting for the next Elder Scrolls game. Well, we have these 3 games from, like, look at how, best example, look at Fallout. While we're waiting for Fallout 4, or 76 at the time, we got New Vegas. Obsidian made New Vegas. This can hold you over until the next big title comes. This title is not going to be ball breaking to your wallet, but it's a nice little rendition of the game, our take on it here. We don't have that no more. At all.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is what needs to come back, because you can still make crazy money. You don't have to purposely make our games $80 and then give us a special pack for $100. And let me guess, they're gonna come out with another one that gives you the game 2 weeks early. They know the hustle. They know the hustle. They know that if they do that, they're gonna get all those streamers, the potential new streamers, the dedicated streamers. They're all gonna get that extra one so they can have the game first.
Yep.
And that hurts, because games like this, like the Outer Wilds, you know, do you really think, like, this is a question for you, Dana, do you really think like an average Joe who maybe did not play the first one would drop $80 to try this?
I don't think they should. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think they should. Like, in my opinion, if you have Game Pass, try it out. Like, if you're already a Game Pass subscriber, or you're thinking about Game Pass, then, like, yeah, take advantage of it, play the game, try it out. I'm gonna play it because I'm a Game Pass subscriber. Like, I'll be straight up with y'all. Like, but if you are not a Game Pass subscriber, for whatever reason, you should be. But if you're not a Game Pass subscriber, I'm gonna be honest with you, you should not be paying $80 for this. Like, that is a wild price. You should not be paying $80 for that.
I agree. Because my thing is, you know, a lot of these games I would have not tried. Of course, back then I was the kid back then, so we didn't have money, we didn't have bills, we didn't have finances like that to where we can just buy everything. But yeah. There were those, $25 to $40 games that we tried because maybe we had some money from doing something. And that resonated so heavily with us that it pushed us to learning and liking another genre of games. It expands the culture. And now everything being at a minimum price of $80, I can't even get mad at someone if they go, yeah, I'm just only going to buy Call of Duty. I can't get mad if they go, oh, I'm only going to buy 2K, because I can't afford 4 $80 games. Plus the microtransactions, plus the extra money I have to throw into the game to get it there. So I get it. But for us, because we both have Game Pass, you give me this free on Game Pass, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it day one, like, period.
Oh yeah.
And I think by the time this comes out, I'm really trying to update my my computer. But I think you'll be able to run this. I'm pretty sure I can run this on my computer if I can't get the upgrade. But this one's on my day one play. I'm very impressed with how this game looks, regardless of the price issues. This looks like a very good game. It looks like they've completely overhauled the game. This is going to be.
I like how aesthetically they kept a lot of, like, the looks, and I wouldn't be surprised if they just reused some of the same models from the first game. Mm-hmm. But they, like, gave it a little bit of polish on top. Like, yes. Maybe they tweaked the lighting engine. I don't know exactly what all they may have done, but aesthetically it looks like you remember the first game looking, but just a little bit better.
Yes. Yeah. And that's a good thing, though. So it doesn't look too different. And it looks like they're going to just jump you right back into, not where you left off, but it looks like we're bringing you right back to this world.
A time jump.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what it looks like. Like this is the same world, just maybe we pushed a little bit farther into the years.
Yeah.
Definitely gonna play it, like I said before. But we're running out of time. So we have 2 more topics that I want to bring up. One of them, I know you know who the Wu-Tang Clan is, and yes, you know that they are nothing to F with, because you have to enter the Wu. And they announced a game, Wu-Tang Rise of the Deceiver. So for this next two trailers, we're gonna watch them both back to back, and then I'm gonna tell you like the main topic that I have for both of these, and we're gonna branch both of these together at the same time. So first, this is the Wu-Tang Rise of the Deceiver, the official trailer from Summer Game Fest. The next trailer that we're gonna see. Now I do apologize if this is a little rushed, but I want to make sure we get everything in because lately we've been running over. So
Been going a little over.
This next one is called Reloaded. This was the announcement trailer that came out. I think they played this too for Summer Game Fest. I'm not sure, but I know I've seen this before the Summer Game Fest. So both of these trailers were like a minute, 2 minutes. So we'll watch this one really quick. All right. So, two very strong games I feel coming out that maybe did not get the big recognition like we see with a lot of the other AAA title games. One thing I do want to talk about both, but what really disturbed me with the culture of gaming, because that's what it is. They got backlash for both of these games, and it's weird how there's people out there who will look at these games and go like, well, this is ridiculous. Why does this game exist? And it was the same thing we said with South of Midnight. I feel the same conversation comes here with these two games. And it's okay to have, black main characters. It should be. And
It is.
It's kind of sad when we're at a space now in gaming where companies can make all types of games, all type of genres. They can, highlight certain things from religious things to racial things, and we're cool with it. But then I feel like when it comes to things like Reloaded, to the Wu-Tang game, we're like, this is the problem. And I have seen in many spaces where they said, we do not want you, I don't want to say whitewashing, but we do not want you to take this and turn it to this, because that's taking away the effect of what our game is. Make your own game. Well, they did. And again, I would have said before I saw nothing about this game, but I changed my algorithm from South of Midnight. I had a lot of y'all that listen to the podcast told me, you just got to change your algorithm, change what you're seeing, and you'll see that there is many content creators and people talking about games like this. And they were right. I may have not seen Reloaded if I haven't changed my perspective of my social media algorithm. And I just want your 2 cents on that, and then we can kind of break down what these games are. But what is your take on that weird state of, we can't have games like this?
I'm gonna be real, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat nothing when I say this. It's too many people that look like this,
White people.
that are used to every game having people who look exactly like that.
White people.
And it's uncomfortable for them to finally see games that focus other people that don't look the same as them. The reality is, like, there shouldn't be a problem with it. Like, there just shouldn't be. There is, and that's not the developer's fault.
Right.
Like, it's 100% on people that are used to people who look like them being focused and at the center of pretty much every piece of media that's out there. And, like, they just got to grow up. I'm going to be real with you. Like, they just got to grow up. It's okay for other stories from other places and other people to be told. Like, you're fine with stories from Japan and China because their animation art style makes it vague enough that you can imagine those characters as not being Japanese or Chinese. So like you're fine with their stories because you can insert yourself, but all of a sudden these stories are the ones that you have an issue with. Like you got after people for a long time saying like, oh well, stop changing characters, just make new ones. We're doing that. We have new characters. Like, and now you still don't like it. Like, grow the hell up. Like, get over yourselves. Grow up. There is no nice way to say that.
But you said it the best way that it could be said, bro. 100%. And again, I don't want this just to be on that topic, but we have to bring light to it. And I think that's something that a lot of these companies and these other, news sources, I feel they're afraid to talk about that because they don't want to be under fire. And it's like, but we have to peel that Band-Aid off eventually. And
yeah,
because like at the core of both of these games, it's not only doing a style of game, a genre of game that's not done a lot. The Wu-Tang game.
Outside of like Nintendo, we don't get a lot of platformers. That's honestly, like when I saw Reloaded, I was like, that's a solid platform.
Right. Yeah. Like a fully thought out game established through side scroll platforming. Which, we don't get that if it's not from Nintendo. And even Nintendo has kind of pushed more, away from it. So it's these type of games. These are the risks that we're saying that needs to happen in gaming. We need this versatile platforms. We need these things because we are look at what EA said about RPG players. And this is what the companies look at us as. So if you don't support these games, we can not only lose this story, like the concept of like, is it stealing if we're stealing it back? And I remember I sat there, I was like, okay, I like this idea they're doing with Reloaded. And then I looked online, was reading some posts, reading some stuff, and they're like, oh, this is crazy. So you have them stealing. I'm like, Tomb Raider, Uncharted, Indiana Jones. Like, wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? Mission Impossible?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. National Treasures? Come on, man.
Yep.
Come on, man. Like,
and look, we gotta remind everybody: if you're not up on your history like that, the only reason the pyramids are still in Egypt is because the British couldn't figure out how to take him and put him in a museum. That is real history.
facts.
If you don't believe me, just Google it. That is real history.
Look it up. We cannot pick it up and bring it over here. It's just physically impossible. But it's cool because I think I like these type of games that it gives you time to really think. Like I like games that make you think, and I feel like the story of both of these games is going to be fire.
Yeah.
Like, cause the Wu-Tang game, I want to see it.
That comic book art style looked amazing.
Damn. I want to see if they're going to break down all of the Wu-Tang members, because it's clear that you're going to rescue all of the Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
But I'm curious if they're going to like highlight things of each rapper through their stages.
That'd be cool.
That would be fire. And if you didn't know, the Wu-Tang Clan, like their contribution to video games alone is amazing. The way that they have infused hip hop culture, video game culture, and like the old school kung fu culture, like the kung fu films,
like comic book culture,
comic books. Yes, like if you are a complete nerd and you have not seen the Wu-Tang in some form in one of your loves, you ain't looking. You purposely are putting blinders up to that. All right. And when I seen both of these games, I was like, yo, we have gems just dropping, and this is Summer Game Fest time. So seeing how we have, of course, the bigger titles. We're not going to watch all of them, but they announced another 007. They've announced what was another one that I saw that was pretty big? You said Resident Evil. Silent Hill has another game coming out. You know what I'm saying?
About that.
Yeah, like supposedly Silent Hill, they're working on that. So it's like we have a lot of big stapled games coming, but do not forget about these games, because these companies, and support them, because especially for people out there that are still complaining about $80 games and games being too expensive and all this stuff. If you don't support these companies and show Microsoft and show Sony what we want and how these companies, hey, I guarantee you this game Reloaded did not take $500 million to make. But we can low key make this game earn $500 million.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? South of Midnight. I haven't looked at their sales since their release, but people are still talking about that game today. For how good they touched the culture, for how good they represented the New Orleans style, like the bayous, the music. Like that game is still getting so much praise today. Reloaded could be that too, but we have to give it a chance, y'all. Wu-Tang, the Wu, that could be too, but we have to give it a chance. All right, that is my moment. I wanted to put both of those together. Data hit it right on the head. We have to grow up out here. Everyone should be able to be should be able to be represented in a positive way. Everyone should be able to turn on the game, turn on the movie, a TV show, a book, etc. Everyone should be able to see themselves in some form of content. And we have to work together to make sure that stuff happens. We have to. And we talked about conventions. Like last episode.
Last episode, yeah.
So like conventions, like DreamCon just happened, MomoCon just happened. We're going into the Comic-Con seasons and things like that. Like we share our loves with so many other races, so many other religious people. Let's come together with one common goal to enjoy our nerd love for what we love together. We should not be divided. We should not have to care about a character being a black woman, a white man, a male, Asian, or a lesbian. It doesn't matter. Enjoy it for what it is. If the game is good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. But don't sit there and say this game is bad because of some racial stuff or religious stuff. Please.
Yeah, especially like every gamer that I've talked to for the last several years is complaining about like we don't have enough of like the smaller, more condensed titles. Like it feels like everybody's just trying to make AAA. Mm-hmm. These are the smaller, more condensed titles. Like if y'all are looking past it because of petty issues, that's on you at this point.
Yep. Like there can be a time very soon. Don't get it twisted. We could wake up in the next year and your indie market, your indie games can be gone because there's no support.
I think indie games are about to blow up with these new prices that are coming out.
Oh no, for real.
I'm gonna be real with you.
100% agree. I was putting it out there, but I do agree with you. The indie, like, there's going to be an indie resurgence coming. And another reason why I think of that, to segue into it, the reason why I think it's going to happen is because now Xbox has put their stake in the handhelds. The Steam Deck already giving you the accessibility to play more games on the go. With that, and now the ROG Xbox being announced, let me just say, we don't have to watch the trailer, but we're just going to talk over it. I think everyone knows at this point what this is. So, there was rumors that they canceled it. There was rumors that it wasn't coming out at all. And Summer Game Fest, they said, nah, fam, this thing is coming out. And the one thing I told you, Data, the one thing that I liked about this is the accessibility. How it's going to have Game Pass. It's going to be able to have Steam. All of what I think, even Epic Games. I think, right? Like it's going to be able to fit all of those clients on the go.
What they've confirmed so far is Xbox Launcher and Battle.net are going to work natively. There were some reviewers that asked, like, what about things like Steam? And the reviews are like, they didn't say directly that it'll work, but they did hint that third-party developers were going to be able to make their stores compatible, and that some of the larger stores were already working on it. They're like, so they didn't say that Steam is coming, but they heavily implied Steam is coming.
It's coming. Or we'll figure one way out to do it. Because you did say that you can still boot up Windows on this.
Yes.
So, again, you know, why would I pay what, $500 for a Switch that they can break my Switch whenever they want to? Or I can get a Steam Deck, or now the ROG Xbox. You know, it's again, we're gonna have a resurgence of indie games, and we're gonna have this resurgence of handhelds. Because they know.
To be fair, these handhelds are going to be expensive.
Yeah.
The regular Xbox Ally, if I remember the prices I saw correctly, is supposed to be like $600, and the more like upgraded one is supposed to be like $800. It's like it's going to cost some money.
It's going to be steep, but then you see it's steep, but then it's like you have your Game Pass. I know what I would do if I was them, and I mean I hate to say this how you should make more money because you're already nickel and diming us, but release it with a year's worth of Game Pass.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, like, don't just leave it at those price ranges, but just give away a year of Game Pass. I guarantee you, these things will fly off the shelf, and people, because my biggest thing, and tell me if I'm wrong, the biggest problem that we have with new consoles and new tech that comes out, either it's always buggy and there's nothing to play day one. That's what Switch is having the issue with right now. Like, the Switch just dropped, like, this week, and people are already complaining that there's nothing to do on it because you released it with really just one game.
Yeah.
So, bring out this Xbox, give everybody a year of Game Pass so that their minds can wander, they can download all the games they want, they can try new games, and they're going to engulf themselves in this system. Switch, Nintendo, I love y'all, man, but y'all gotta be careful, bro. You gotta be careful because it ain't looking good for y'all at all. Like, and don't get me wrong, there's games that they have coming that I'm excited about, genuinely. But there's also this question of, like, your competitors are now entering your space.
Yeah,
and they have the control of a lot of the companies, of the gaming companies. So what happens when Xbox and Sony now have their handhelds and they say, well, we don't want to port these third-party games and stuff to your Nintendo Switch? What you do now? Because don't get me wrong, Nintendo's the godfather and the grandfather of gaming. Like, we're not going to just watch you die, but nostalgia can only take you so far.
I'll be real. Until they start fixing some stuff on that Switch, I ain't getting one.
Yeah, I want one, but it's like they have a year. I'm definitely not getting it this year. I have no urge to get it this year. By the time Donkey Kong and everything comes out, I want to see where they're at, because there are some practices I don't agree with Nintendo, and that I'm an adult now. I make my own money. I pay my own bills. So it's time for me to be like, you know, I may have to just skip out on this one and hope that maybe something changes. Because I'll be real, that's why I haven't got a PlayStation, a PS5. That's why, I don't buy Xboxes anymore because I have a PC. You know, so it's like, if I have to stick to PC gaming and my Game Pass for this stuff, eventually I feel like all those PlayStation only games are going to go to Steam or some form of a client, I'll get them down the road at this point. But
PlayStation's already said that all their first-party exclusives they're going to bring to PC from here on out.
okay,
Xbox has been doing that for years. Nintendo's the odd man out. Like, they could do it. There's no reason they couldn't.
and
I don't know if they will.
they won't until their corporate structure changes, which means that someone has to, sadly, man,
Yeah.
it's going to, and it sucks because you can't sit there and go like, oh, this is crazy. It's working for them.
Yeah.
Like that's like that's like telling McDonald's like, yo, bring back the dollar menu. Like, why? You're buying everything at $1.50, $2, $3. Like, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
And it's funny because you have a lot of people now that are like, well, I'm not trying to say I'm watching the pockets of these businesses and stuff like that. It's like, of course we don't want to watch their pockets. Like, the money they make is what they make. That's their issue. But I may not be a like real investor of your company, but I invest in your company because I buy your product.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
I'll be real though. Like, if they keep going the way they are, like, I know where my pirate hat's at. That's all I'm gonna say on that. If I want to play the game, I'm gonna figure out how to play the game.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? And it's one thing that I will say too as a gamer, I have all my old systems. I still have a lot of my old games packed away right now. So it's like if I have to step away because the practices are just so bad, I have bangers that I can replay and be totally fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, I will be okay. I'll be fine. And I think a lot of people need to realize that. It's like we have witnessed a lot in gaming. Good, bad, amazing, weird, so it's like, and this is just in gaming. We haven't even mentioned music, movies, books, comics. That's why, like, I love this podcast. It's Culture Clash. Right now we're focusing on the gaming side, but I think to wrap it up, because again, we're way over time. I'll be talking for the hour. This system, the power of the Xbox, you know what I'm saying? That this right here is about to enter the world. It's going to enter the space, and it's going to stir it up. Will it be for the good? We don't know. Will it be for the bad? We don't know. But I guarantee you, on this podcast, we're telling you, when this system hits the market, competition's coming. And that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. Be wise with your purchases. Because the era of it's like the handheld era is coming right back. History repeats itself.
Handhelds are coming back in a big way, and honestly, I think that's what Nintendo has needed for a long time, because they've been kind of since the end of like the PSP, they've been the only player in the handheld space for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's about time that someone, in a big way steps in and is like, hey, we can do handhelds too, and we can do them really good.
We got that capability to do it. And we've been seeing you do it. We gave you time. It's now our time. Share the space or get pushed away from it. Your choice. And I would say some people, again, I've been hearing a lot of good and bad when it comes to the Switch 2. I think a lot of people, it's just overhyped right now.
Yeah.
Some people will say it wasn't overhyped, that they weren't excited for it. That's okay, but you bought it, and that's the problem. It's like, if you ain't excited, don't buy it. If you ain't comfortable, don't buy it. Let it go. Because I do agree, if the sales would have not been what they are, because the Switch 2 sold, y'all. The Switch 2 sold millions on release. Yeah. If they would have not hit out. Yeah, they sold out. If they would have not sold out, I guarantee you by July or by the end of the summer, they would have dropped that price. Guarantee it. Or they would have made a bundle, a better bundle or something. So it's like sometimes we have to be patient. and that's it for me. Any last things you want to say before we go into the closing statements?
Uh, just like if y'all are interested in any of the games that got announced, like definitely check it out. There's a lot more that we didn't cover here just because time mostly. But check those out. And always remember, like, vote with your wallet. There's plenty of stuff to play. There's plenty of companies putting new stuff out. Realistically, we can't do all of it. Put your money on the stuff that is most important to you.
I agree. I 100% agree with Data. And again, guys, thank you to all. If you made it this far in the podcast, you are a real one. Thank you for the support. Thank you, guys, for real. We're going to go ahead and get some of this out the way. If you enjoy this, please like it, subscribe. If you're listening to this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, like it, share it with your friends. Let's get this thing up in the algorithm. Let's keep growing. Like I said, we're now on YouTube, Culture Clash on YouTube. Check us out. The shorts, all the video, all the forms are going to be on there now. Plus on TikTok, Instagram. No one's really been crying about Facebook. Long story about Facebook. I'll talk about that later. But if that's something that someone wants to see happen, I may try to get back on Facebook so we can get it available on that platform as well. Let us know too if y'all like. We normally do about a 2-week cycle on the podcast, so let us know if this is what you like. If we're giving you enough. If you want more of the Culture Clash, we can give you more of the Culture Clash. So just let us know in the comments. Let us know on any platform that you're on. But again, we are so thankful that y'all are rocking with us. That y'all want to build this community up. Also, we're on Discord as well. So, FSPN on Discord. We should have a link in our respective spot that you see us on or listen to us on. So, check the invite out. Join our Discord. Be a part of the family. We game together. We talk together. We stream together. That's how we do. So, anything else you want to add, Data?
I think that pretty much covers it.
Boom shagalaga, y'all. I will say thumbs up to Summer's Game Fest for this year. Super thumbs up. I'm gonna do better next year, I promise. I'm Zero to Chaos.
And I'm Melting Data.
And again, guys, thank y'all for listening to Culture Clash. And until next time, be safe out there. Be good. Build the community. Be great. Deuces.